Hello folks, hope you're doing well. My name is Marc Gallagher. I am a professional musician and guitarist here in the UK, and I did a video looking at my pedal board overall as it is in its current state, but I wanted to do some in-depth videos looking at one pedal specifically and all the various settings and sounds through which you can get it. And today we're looking at the Wampler Paisley Deluxe. This is like my first proper good overdrive pedal. I had the Blues Driver from Boss, and then I was like, oh, I really want to get the Paisley. So Brad Paisley is a famous country guitarist and singer, and he's like my favorite guitarist alongside like Brian May. I love Brad Paisley's work, and the Wampler Paisley is his signature overdrive pedal, which is kind of based on an Ibanez Tube Screamer. Similar. And in Brad's chain, he also has a Wampler Underdog pedal, which is another kind of now discontinued overdrive pedal. So the Paisley Deluxe is a 2-channel overdrive that has both of these in one. So we have channel 1, which is the Underdog pedal, which is some kind of overdrive by Mr. Wampler. This has your gain, your level, and then a 3-band EQ, and there's also a fat switch there. And then channel 2 is the Wampler Paisley, which is like an Ibanez Tube Screamer. So you've got your tone, your level, your gain, and you've got a little voicing switch which does a mid scoop if you so desire. So I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into this pedal, how it works, and what it sounds like, and the things we can make it do. So for the guitar I'm using today is a Jet JS600 TGR, which is on loan to me from the kind folks at Hal Leonard, their distributor. It's not a Telecaster, I know, and the reason why is because, yes, Brad Paisley is a guitarist and a country guitarist, but also I am sick of seeing all the demos of this kind of pedal be country guys doing country guy things on Telecasters. I'm sick of that. I want to show something different. Here is an S-type guitar for that kind of purpose. I am going through my Vox AC10 and my Fender Blues Jr. Here are the settings. Here are how I have mic'd those amps. I've also got some room mics, so you've got a sense of what it's like in the space here, and we will see, and I'll mix it all together and it'll be dandy and fine. Anyway, so this is a dual channel thing. The way I've got it set up, what you can do is, depending on how you choose to plug in and have this switch, you can have either channel 1 feed channel 2 or vice versa, or you can have it like I've got it set where it's in this middle setting and both channels are working independently of each other. The idea here is because I've got a loop switcher at the bottom, a Gig Rig Quartermaster, so I've got 2 different switches which operate the 2 different channels. For sake of this, because you can only see the pedal itself, what I'm going to do is turn both of those on and then mess with any like settings on here on the pedal itself instead of using my switcher. Here is just the clean tone of my guitar. Let's take a look at channel 1. This is the Underdog side. So like I said, this has got the level and gain and 3-band EQ. Here's how I've got it currently set. It's very nice, it's very meaty. Let's first, the easiest thing we can look at is this switch on the side. It's the fat switch. So it's currently in, which makes it fat. If I take it out, it's basically bottom end, and I like the sound of that bottom end. But for now, we'll just keep it out and start playing about with some other different settings. So let's get the EQ nice and centered and then start just playing about with some low gain and some high gain. So gain at the moment has been on sort of 11 o'clock and this about 10 for the level. Let's play about with it a bit further, get the level down. So yeah, it's an overdrive pedal that gets quite gainy. Let's bring the gain down to about 8 o'clock and let the level do most of the work. Bring the pedal in. Sounds very mid-heavy. I'm getting a lot of from the sound of that pedal. Take the pedal out. So in its current state, I would want to take some mids out. Let's exaggerate the mid settings and see what we find. I'm not too keen on it being used as a boost like this because I feel like the gain is kind of having a lot of like the body and the bite of the note. I feel like when you start to bring the gain up, it really comes alive. Next thing I want to just try out is to see what we can do with the bass knob that the fat switch can't do. So I want to see, let's just see what the fat switch does again. Fat switch just makes it sound better. Right, let's bring the bass up a bit. Yeah, the fat switch just makes it better, but it's not simply adding bass and bottom end. There's more like smoothness going on there as well. Take the bass away. Fat switch in. Yeah, so first switch I'm preferring, however, I'm just cutting, you know, some of the bass and the mids here. Treble, I might add a bit more bite. Yes, mate! Right. For now, let's take a look at channel 2. This is the Wampler Paisley side of the Paisley Deluxe. Again, this is based on an Ibanez Tube Screamer. I'm going to take the voicing out of it, which is its mid scoop. So here is Paisley 2. Let's try doing the classic tube screamer thing of low gain and make it more of a boost kind of thing. Obviously, you're getting the mid boost there because of what this circuit is. Let's do what I prefer to do with this and to get the gain up a bit more. If I go 10 o'clock and 10 o'clock and about 2 on the tone here. Next thing, I'll just demonstrate the voicing switch, which is a mid scoop. So without. Because I've already got a tube screamer on the board in the form of my JHS Bonsai, I like to have the voicing switch in just to make it sound a bit more different than my existing tube screamer sound. It's got more of a scoop, it's a bit more smiley face, and in terms of the... I feel like the treble is also boosted a little bit. Listen to the top end without... There's a bit of an extra fizziness there, so I might want to just back the tone off a little, but yeah. Now that we've kind of got some sounds that I kind of like on both of these respective sides, let's just take a listen to how the two sides of the same pedal compare. So, channel 1 overdrive. Right now, I prefer channel 1 because that sounds A, louder, B, more direct and punching you in the face. The channel 2 sounds a bit more repressed, and I think that's down to the voicing switch. If I was to take that out, let's see how both compare now. Channel 1. Still lacks that brightness. And now it has too much mid. They are different overdrives with different overdrive characteristics. I still like channel 1. It's a bit more forward and hitting you in the face, whereas channel 2 is a bit more of a supplementary player. I've just put the voicing switch back in on channel 2 because that's what I want to keep. Because now, I guess, a good way to think about this is how we would start to combine these tones. So, because I've already got my board wired up, I'm not going to be experimenting with feeding one into the other and vice versa. I'm not going to do that today. So what I'm instead going to do is just show, I mean, currently it is set up where my channel 1 is going into the channel 2. The Underdog is going into the Paisley. And maybe we can start seeing the ways we can use this to our advantage. So here's channel 1, which is a bit more aggressive sound. So if I was to go into another drive pedal, I feel like because I've set the Paisley side to be a bit gainy as well, I think these both are going to be a bit much for each other. Let's try it. Just channel 1. Both. There's just too much going on there. So what I would want to do is when I'm stacking two things like this, if you're having like a boost into overdrive or overdrive into boost, I guess the best way to think about this is I would want to take this, which I love, and make it louder. So what I would want to do is something where I like have the gain pretty low, maybe just a bit of tone, maybe a bit of level, and see how that plays with it. So here's channel 1. Channel 2. I've actually lost a bit of volume there, so I need to just pump the level up more. Compared to channel 1 on its own, add the second channel in. You've got a lot there and it's really fun. Jesus, yeah. Last thing I'll do is just change to the neck pickup on my guitar because we've been listening to a bridge humbucker all this time. Let's see what happens when I drive it a little bit less. Channel 1. Let's add the second channel in. Just channel 2. I think that'll do it for there because we could be here all day. I've got both of my channels to a place where I kind of like them, where channel 2 is acting as just a bit of a boost because it's otherwise very Tube Screamer-like, which I already have, and with the voicing in, it can kind of cave in on itself a little bit. So by just having it acting as a little bit of a boost that supports channel 1, that Underdog channel, which is so fat and wonderful. Yeah, I think I've got a setting that I really like here, and I use this on my other guitars, not just on a Telecaster like you'll see in other video demos of this. Yes, Brad Paisley is a great country player, but I like it in my rock context as well. And yeah, what I like about this pedal is that my other drive pedals are mostly like classic overdrive sounds. You've got your Tube Screamer, you've got your clone style, you've got your blues breaker style, but the Paisley is its own thing. At least channel 1 is very much its own thing, and I like having this still here as part of my board. And yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed this video, but I'm going to leave it there. My name is Marc Gallagher. Follow me on your social media of choice at Marc Gallagher Music, Marc with a C. And you can also support me on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Marc Gallagher Music. Until next time, my name is Marc Gallagher. Like the video if you want, share if you feel compelled to, and follow me on places. I'll catch you down the road. Fucking stunning.